What's up, everybody? What's up? How y'all doing? How you doing? This your boy here, Coach P here, with Sports Talk Live here in the big town of Somerville. I want to thank you all for tuning in for this live tonight. I have a really special guest tonight that's going to help some people for his he's a former player of mine at Colleton, played football, and he played college football over at Charleston Southern. And he's going to tell you some things. The reason why I'm bringing him on, first of all, is because I want to help some kids and parents that's trying to get their kids into college. And this guy here that I'm bringing on, Nick Salley, people from the Collin County area know him a long time. Nick played football there. Nick was an excellent athlete. First of all, he was an excellent student. And then he was, God knows he was an excellent athlete. Probably one of the best I've seen come through Collin County in a while that played the game, man. But I'm gonna wait till he tune in, and when he tune in, then we're gonna get started with our show. But I know I'm usually on here talking about girls basketball, but tonight that we went to a game. I went to a game last night, and let me tell you something, man. The game between Somerville and Cane Bay. Oh my God, that was state of the art. That was state of the art, man. I'm just telling you, and it was an exciting game. Nick, I just sent request, Nick, when you get it, you send it back to me. As soon as you see it, you send it back to me, Nick. But I want to say, man, last night was a great game between King Bay and Somerville. And I hated for somebody to lose that game because I say both teams played hard. There's a lot of mistakes, a lot of otherwise, but I can't take it away from the winning team. They won the game, and they did what they're supposed to do. Somerville at this time, they're clicking. They're playing good basketball. And, I know we got some teams in the low country that's in the playoff. Military Magnet. I know we got a couple games tonight. Nick, I'm getting it, Nick. I'm trying to see what's going on here, Nick. I'm going to get you, buddy. I'm adding you now. As soon as you see that request, Nick, you send it back to me. We have some teams that's in the playoffs tonight. I know Andrew Jackson and Timlin is playing as we talk right now. I got an update on them. Timlin is down right now, and hopefully they can get together and get it going before the game's over with. And tonight also, I don't know the guys. I really don't get the guys update like that, but there is some game. The Oceanside are playing tonight. For the local side teams, but OW girls, I think they are playing the net tonight also. Nick, let me see what's the problem here, Nick. Give me, because usually when I do this thing, I'll send it to you one more time, Nick. Hopefully you can get it. Coach Gant, what's up? Mr. Webb, how you doing, Big John? I'm trying to get Nick Salley on here. I don't know, John. They may not want me to coach anymore, man. Right now, I'm enjoying this not doing anything. Just going to games and just watching. I enjoy that more than anything right now. There he is, right there. There
All right,
he
you
is.
got me? All right.
Nick, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, man?
Hey, man, listen, man. I am so glad to have you on here on my Sports Talk Live show, man. Usually, Nick, I interview a lot of high school coaches, man. And I was at work on last week. And
Yeah.
I saw that you had on Facebook, and I said, you know what? I gotta get Nick on my show, man, because at this time right now, as well, where kids are, they're being recruited and everything in college. So before we get into that, though, Nick, man, introduce yourself, man. Let everybody know where you came, where you from. I know your journey, but we want everybody else to know your journey.
So if you don't know me, my name is Nick Salley, or Nicholas Salley, but everybody calls me Nick. I'm right here from Walterboro, the Springtown, Oakland Branch area. That's where my people's from. I went to Carleton County. I graduated in the year 2016, and then after there, was fortunate enough to pursue college football at Charleston Southern University in North Charleston. Uh, it was a short trip. It was a short trip up the road for me, but it turned out to be, one of the better experiences I had so far in my young life. So.
Oh man, Nick, I have my story with you, man. I tell you, when I came back to Collin County, when I left Allendale, I came back to
Yeah,
Collin County. And I think it was your junior or senior year, man. And I'm telling you, I tell you this to your face, and I tell you this on camera, even behind your back, man. You were one of the best athletes that I seen that came through. Now, I know we had a lot when we came through Walterboro, but I'm
yeah. It
saying
was a
Collin
lot. It was
County.
a lot through Walterboro.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, you played the game the right way. And I'm gonna go back, man. First of all, you were a great student, man. You were one of the
Mm,
top students at school that year. You were, one of the damn best football players, and you played the
yeah,
game the right way. You came to practice. You showed the example to the younger kids, and and the most thing about what watered me was that you made the North South game, man. And I think you got hurt in the North South game, but
yeah,
that hard work that you from day one to get here to your senior year, man, was awesome, man. That I
yeah.
thought that was one of the best things that I've seen a kid do in a long time, man.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I really do. I really do. It was just, especially like during that time, like after I got hurt and everything, man, I really didn't know like what direction I was gonna go in, especially because
Right.
I was heavily recruited, but I didn't have any offers. So it was just like wanting the trigger to pull on me while I can, start accumulating offers, but I didn't. It didn't end up going the way I thought it would, but fortunately, like I said earlier, like it just turned out. It turned out to be a blessing in disguise with everything that happened. So
Right. Good. Well, Nick, man, the main thing, one of the main things that I brought you in here, we can go on about the Nick Salley all we want to
mm,
about this and that, man. But before I get started, I got to do this here. Listen, y'all, this is your boy here, Coach P here with Sports Talk Live. I'm here with my main man, y'all, Nick Salley, man, from the big town of Springtown. They about that big right there. And guess what? They got a dollar store. So Springtown Salley
we
actually,
big time. We big time now.
but if you want to follow me, man, email me at sportstalkcoachp@gmail.com. Or you can follow me on my YouTube page at YouTube at Sports Talk with Coach P. Nick, I know we talked earlier, man, and the main thing that I really, really wanted to get you on, man, is that
Mm,
I said earlier was that we know that we have kids that's getting ready to go to college. And before we even talk about the playing days of college football, Nick, I want you to tell the people out there, because I have a lot of people that's viewing right now, and I have a lot of people on my Facebook page, Nick. And I want me and you are going to help some kid tonight, and you're going to help
mm,
some parent tonight. But what we're going to talk about, Nick, you knew that you wanted to go to play college football. You knew you
mm.
wanted to go to college. Tell me what the steps that you have to do to get yourself ready for that.
Mainly it started with academics in high school. Just staying on top of. Fortunately, like my mom was really like she was really on me about like staying on top of stuff like that. But if nobody knew, it was just more so like staying on top of like the right amount of credit hours you're supposed to have, or like for me, like I wanted to have like an honors degree, so like what number of electives I wanted to take in
Right.
order to have that type of degree or whatever. And so just staying on top of that, just becoming like a good student, trying to like create good study habits or whatever. But I really felt like, I couldn't prepare for that, like going to college, because once I got to college, it was
Right.
like a whole nother game. But as far as like the steps of getting there, just having those talks like with like either a mentor or like a guidance counselor, somebody who may be more knowledgeable like in certain situations, because like maybe schools that I had interest in, maybe like a South Carolina State or a Claflin, I can ask. I was fortunate enough to have like alumni like around me,
Right.
ask them about their experiences or whatever. And I really weighed every option I felt like possible, just trying to make sure like I did what was right for myself. Because I mean, it's a lot of schools out there, and I feel like you can make it what it is, but you're not going to find out what your right fit is until you go there. And fortunately, I took an unofficial visit to CSU, and I like the atmosphere, I like the coaching staff, and I just was like, I even at this age of 17, I was like, I think I can see myself going to school here, because I personally was looking like for something small. I really didn't want like a bigger school, like a University of South Carolina or Clemson.
Right.
Personally, like if I would have got an offer from them, that would have been great. I would, I would have made do with it. But
Right.
personally,
Right.
I wanted something because I knew what my strength was. Like I wanted to like go to a school where I can have like more of a relationship like with my professors or whatever. Like just in case if I needed like that one-on-one time. And I did my homework, did my research on schools I might have not really known much about. Like I believe, like I really started looking into Furman and like the Wofford's, and just seeing because they were prestigious schools, down our way. So it's just like
Right.
just doing my homework on different schools and seeing what I feel like I would fit into. And something that's also important too is schedule a visit, like if you can schedule like a visit to these campuses and get a feel for like what the campus life might be like. See like if the campus is too big or like you feel like buildings are too far away from a dorm that you might be staying in or something like that. It's small stuff like that that at the
Right.
end of the day it helped me out in making a decision. So
Well, when you were doing all getting yourself prepared for that, and you got it, you knew in your mind what you wanted to do. Now,
mm.
did you go to your guidance counselor a lot, or did you depend on your parents? Or how did you, for as get yourself prepared to get to visit these schools? What was the process you had to take to say, who got you scheduled for them?
Really, it was since I was since I was a student athlete, that kind of worked differently. My coach, Coach Collins at the time, he
Right.
was making things happen, and then Coach Bowers, who was our athletic trainer at the time, she had some connections at CSU where she was able to talk the coaches like on the side, and then they
Yeah, I
would
got
reach out formally to Coach Collins, and then we'll set things up because me and Norman Hand and sometimes Trey Murray and other players like Carl Levine, KJ, and AJ Bellamy, like all of us went to like multiple camps, on these college, these college tours or whatever, college these opportunities where you can go to like different camps like during the summertime or whatever
you.
and
Right.
be able to, while you're out there playing football, you still get a chance to, see the school, see the university, see what they have to offer, learn more about, the school because players are out there conducting the camps. So any question you have, like you're able to ask those guys. So I was happy I was able to get that experience too because I felt like, maybe sometimes like you go to a university and they pair you with like a certain person or like a guide, and maybe they tell you all the stuff that you want to hear, but when you're around students or like a student athlete, they're able to give you like the uncut raw stuff. Like it's like okay, like to be honest, like I would come here, but it's this and that and the third. Like maybe it's not what I thought it would be, or maybe
Right.
they're telling me multiple things, and then you got to just be able to weigh the good and the bad with what you think will be the right fit for you. Like I said, but most of the time it would go with mentors as well. Mr. Patrick Thomas, God rest his soul, he was
Right.
big on that.
Right.
He took a lot of us on those college tour trips as well. Like Mr. T took like he loaded all us up, and we went to South Carolina State one day, and that was one of the best experiences I still have. Like how fun it was, and then I got
Right.
I was briefly introduced to, Divine Nine organizations, and it was just like, at a time like that, like it was just like, it was especially as a kid, it was very impressive. It was like I wouldn't mind coming to school here at all. Like, so it's just all about, if you don't have a person like a coach in your corner or wherever like that you don't have really access to or something, getting with your guidance counselor might be like one of the best options to do, or even just go online yourself and schedule yourself for a visit to one of these schools because
Right.
you can do that too. So
Nick, it's kind of the other night I was at a basketball game, Nick, and I know you played when you went to Charleston Southern the first time. The coach that you have now wasn't there; it was another coach,
mm.
and I got an opportunity to meet your coach Dentry at a basketball game the other
Oh,
night
Coach Benson.
at Northwood Academy, and I, Nick, he didn't know me, and I knew who he was. And I said, "That's the coach from Charleston Southern." So
Yeah.
I keep corner of my eye. So I'm standing up against the wall. So he makes his way to come down from up top, and he came to stand by me, and I was like, why this man standing by me? And he
Yeah.
said, hey man, you a coach or something? I said, like, nah. I said, I used to be. I said, basically call it retirement, or I'm done with it now. I said,
Yeah.
I used to coach before. I said, I know you though. I said, man, you used to play at Notre Dame. I said, I remember your
Yeah.
face. And you the coach at Charleston Southern. I said, you coach one of my former students, man, that when I was at Collin County. And he said, Nick Salley. Boy, Nick, I'm telling you, that guy got so excited. He's like, man, woo, if I can get 100 of them, man, oh my God, he was
That
really,
man a
really
clown,
crazy.
man. That
He
man is
is
a
a great
clown,
guy, man.
man. Yeah, he
Yeah.
walk around the locker room calling me the pride of Walterboro. I was like, man, come on, man. Hey, I can tell everybody this right now. When I got to Charleston, a lot of people probably didn't know about Walterboro. When I left, them boys know. Them Florida boys, everybody know about Walterboro. Every time they go through there to get back home, Miami, going wherever, they send a Snapchat, they text me because they going through the city. All I got to say is, y'all, we made it. We there. We got a little bit more recognition.
Well, Nick, man, listen, tell me, I know y'all had some games I know y'all played at the University of Georgia Bulldogs. I like the Georgia Bulldogs, but that day when I saw y'all playing them, the first thing I asked my wife to tell you, I said, Lord, I'm praying for Nick Salley. What are you talking about? They're playing the #1 team in the nation right now, the Georgia Bulldogs, and I'm just praying that Nick do not get hurt, man.
Yeah. The national
Nick, let me ask you a
champions,
question.
man.
Let me ask you this right here as a college football player. It's game day. Okay, you wake up for game day. I'm gonna use this for as who's that? Dion Richardson. Please don't boost Nick up anymore. Hey Dion, leave my boy Nick alone, man. But you are getting ready for a college game, Nick, and I'm gonna use as a home game first, and I do an off game. You get up in the morning. Tell me what you're rich, and your game's at 1 o'clock that afternoon. What do y'all do when y'all first get up?
At 1 o'clock, you might have like a 7 a.m. wake up. So, you said a home, so this would be like a home game scenario?
I'm going to use a home game, and then I use a away game.
All right, home game scenario, you'll wake up at around 7. You report to the weight room to get some breakfast. Most of the time it's like a catered breakfast through our cafeteria. So like they'll have eggs and stuff, they have eggs and something light, but at the same time something that's filling. Like they might have chicken breasts or whatever. So eat breakfast. You go to meetings. You do your last little bit of talks like with your defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, and then you might break into your position groups. Talk with your D-line coach. Like that's what we did. Go over our last tips and reminders. We might have saw something like in film the night before that we didn't recognize like throughout the week. So we might be like, hey, like be on the lookout for this, be on the lookout for that. Or like you might get new information, might be like, hey, this guy's not starting. So, just be prepared for this guy being in the game. And then from there, man, it's like, it's you, like you in your zone. Like you go from there to going up to the locker room, you might have a little downtime, but a 1 o'clock game though, it's like, it's right there. Like, I mean, it's crazy to think that you got out of bed a couple hours ago. Now you out there full speed hitting somebody, But I enjoyed those games though. And then like, you would go to the training room, start to get tape, go through your dressing tape, and then start to get more real, and then you hear guys, you see the kickers are always the first to go out. So they'll go out, they'll get dressed and go out. And then, we got a 90-minute clock that counts down in the front of the locker room. So at certain time marks, you hear like, they'll be like, all right, QBs and centers, go ahead and head out. Like, all right, you got your skill guys, go ahead and head out. Okay. Your mids, go ahead and head out. All right. Now you got your D-line and O-line and some other guys left in the locker room. It's like, all right, the rest of y'all, let's go. So we go out there, stretch, go through our pregame routine and everything, break it down, come back in the locker room and get that last hoorah in, and y'all look at each other. You be like, hey man, look, we decide what type of day it's gonna be today, and then break it out. And we go out there and play.
Now, I'm going to use this for as the Georgia game, and not being funny. The thing is that
Yeah.
how, what was the? I know that's probably one. Was that? Didn't y'all get to play University of Florida too, Gators?
Yeah, so in my time here, we played Mississippi State, Florida, USC, and Georgia.
Wow. So how was that
Yeah.
experience for you, Nick? I mean, because like I said, you coming from a small town of Walterboro, and
Hmm.
and we're not only trying to help the Walterboro, Collin County people, we're trying to help anybody that's out there that's looking at this Facebook page, man. We want you to describe to you, how did that feel for you as a local player? You know, I know people say, well, we had local players from other people that play. We understand that, but I'm talking about my main man, Nick Salley. How did that
Hmm.
feel for you to get
Like the Georgia
that
game or those
exposure?
games in general.
The game, well, all those games.
Those
For his,
big, I mean, man, I love those games, man. It sounds crazy, but I really love those games because, especially like going into like SEC schools, and them people don't
right,
treat you no different. Like we rolled into Georgia, I mean, we rolled into Florida, people gator chomping at us. We rolled into Mississippi State, they got the cowbells, like people standing 5 yards in front of me. I can't hear a word they saying in pregame warm-ups because it's so loud.
wow,
What Florida at freaking halftime, they got the phones waving. It was Carolina was great, and Georgia, like going to an atmosphere like Georgia, like you going in and playing the number one ranked team in the country. Like it's just like for me and like dudes in my class, like my senior class, it's just like yo, like this really the best that you can have it. Like this team potentially could go win a national championship, and they did. But it's like we
right,
get to be on the field. Like it ain't like a lot of people like it's a certain mindset some people may have and be like, they might tense up a little bit, but it's like, yo, at the end of the day, these guys put their pads on the same way I put my pads on.
right, right,
Like,
right,
you know, but it's a reason, Georgia is Georgia. Like they play the Alabamas of the world and they win and they get the national championship. So, but it's like it's no backing down whatsoever. Like every time, like before every game, I always pray, but before those big games, all I do, man, I just really like thank God for giving me that chance. I like, and I say that in my prayer too. I'm like, thank you God for giving me this chance to see this stuff that a lot of people from around my way would love to see and experience,
right, right.
and be able to like one of the best things I love to do is like playing those games and then come back home and tell my friends like about things that happen because some boys were saying the same thing like, bro, what was you thinking? I was like, dog, I wasn't even thinking at all, bro. Well, like those games, man, like they're really fun. Like they make for some of the best stories afterwards. Like me and my boys, we just got done playing, and we still laugh about things like that may have happened in those games, or like things that just happened in general. But it's really a good time, and you really appreciate it. Like after the fact, the older you get, the more you appreciate those games because I mean especially going into it, you have nothing to lose. So you win, you win. You're not going like your coach not gonna get fired if y'all lose that game. Like if
Right,
anything, you get an extension and a pay increase. Those guys are the one that got all everything on the line. So when you can go into a game and just be free and like just be like, man, look, it is what it is. Like I'm out here, I'm playing with y'all. Like I don't care who y'all line. I don't care if y'all line up against Kentucky last week. I really don't care. Y'all line up against the Bucks this week, so it is what it is. But it's
but you know
just
what?
tuning your
You know,
mindset the right way, though.
and you know what, Nick, man, you said that, man. It's so the reason why I'm proud of you and I have a nephew that my wife's nephew plays with South Carolina State, and
Mm,
and he had opportunity to go to play in a bowl game against Deion Sanders' team. Uh,
mm.
then I know I don't know if you know uh, um, Ian Sharp. Ian Sharp was from Walterboro. He's from Walterboro. Played
Yeah,
offensive
yeah, I
line.
know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. Ian,
but
yeah.
he also at South Carolina State. Man, listen, I remember all the work that kid put in. I mean, Ian Sharp will stay extra to put in the weightlifting. He will
Yeah,
stay extra to do everything he can because the same stuff that you say you went through to get into college, all of this stuff, he done the same thing. And
yeah,
that's what makes me so proud of him because he did exactly what you did, Nick. And I kept telling the coaches that came in after Collins left and everything. he he was one of them type of players is whatever you tell him, he's gonna do exactly what you tell him, but he's gonna give you more extra. And because the reason why I brought up Ian Sharp, I was gonna do an interview with him, but I think he had like a little surgery he had to get done, so I'm gonna reschedule for his to get his interview done because I want to get y'all guys, man, recognized, man, because you don't know how proud y'all made Calvin County. And first of all, you know, like I told you before, you were an excellent student. You were A1 student. We never had to worry about was Nick in class. We had never, you know, we had your friends. And basically, when you led off the field, your friends that was with you did the same thing. They did the same thing. And that was just a big shout out to you, man, because, you know, we had a lot of good players that come to Walterboro, Colleton County. We had a lot of good ones, man. And like I always tell you, man, you one of the best, man. You one of the best.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And Ian probably Ian know it, but me and him were talking real heavy during his recruitment because we wanted him, and I was there like telling him, I'm like, yo, look, like this dude, like real deal, like we need to get him. But it was something that happened, like with the O-line coach or whatever, and it didn't work out. Ian knows like what it was. I actually forgot, but I was upset, especially seeing him like being like, yo, like we let a dude, especially like from from the city. It's like, come on, man, like we had him in the bag. How y'all just let this man like leave and then go to SC State? Because I already know SC State always have like some dudes. So it's just like, bro, come on. Like when I saw that, I was happy for him, but I was like, dang, like I really wish like we would have got him because I knew how much better like he would have made our offensive line. Because I know he's a kid that's going. He's a hard worker, and all his work is going to show for him. It's like whenever that chance comes, and I saw that he was able to get on the field and travel as a freshman now. So it's just like, man, look, this kid really gonna have that potential to do what he want to do, be an all-conference, all-American guy, and potentially maybe go to the next level, especially with the way that program produces those guys. So I wasn't too happy. I wasn't too happy when I heard that we lost out on him. I said, bro, come on, man. But yeah, big shout out to him, and I hope everything goes well with the rest of his collegiate career with him playing ball.
So now Nick is I'm taking his football over for you now. Are you going to do any tryouts or anything, or try to walk on anything?
So unfortunately, I was like midway through the season, like I messed up my knee with some stuff, and I wasn't as productive as I wanted to be because the injury was kind of limiting me from like playing. But I kept playing, and I had like a load management type of situation going on.
Right.
I'm older now, so I can pretty much say for like 6 weeks, man, maybe a little bit longer, I was getting knee aspirations on my knee like almost like every Thursday, trying to just drain excess fluid off my knee because it was like I tore like my meniscus and I had like some bone cartilage wear down on my knee. So just from when I tore my ACL, but I was like, man, look, it's my senior season. I'm not risking anything because from what I've heard, one of my old coaches, who's up at Coastal Carolina now, Coach Scott, he's a strength coach up there. He was telling me that I was accumulating some interest. Some teams were asking about me, but there was nothing concrete because I didn't speak to anybody. So it was just like, I was just trying to weigh the options and like, how do I go about the situation? So I just was like, you know what, I'm not even going to chance it. I'm going to just finish out my senior year. And whatever happens, happens. If I'm able to do it, I'm able to do it. But at this point right now, like after talking to physicians in my AT, it's just like I probably won't. I hate that it came to that. I really wish I would have finished off healthy because I would have actually just went into training.
Right.
What it is, though. I'm comfortable with how things ended. I know I went out there every practice, every game, and did what I had to do, gave my all. So it's fine with me, man. It's fine with me.
So Nick, as we wind down this show tonight, man, again, man, I really appreciate you taking out your time to come on my show, man. This is something, Nick, I started probably I think last year sometime. My wife got a talk show. She have a
Mm.
Up Next with Mo show. I was like, man, I'm kind of jealous a little bit, man. I'm gonna get my own. I'm like, you know what?
Embarrassed I had to get my own show.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my own show, man. I'm gonna do me something too. So I got out there and I was like, you know what? Man, what can I come up with? I just happened to say Sports Talk with Coach P. And when I got out of coaching, Nick, 3 years ago, man, I
Mm.
thought that, everybody kept saying, man, you need to get back into the game of coaching. I was like, y'all, let me tell you something. You may, and I'm saying this as an athlete too, Nick, you may
Mm.
want to, you think about, I want to do it, but your body and then your drive is just not there anymore. And
Yeah.
that was with me. I can't say with players, but for me, as a coaching, my drive wasn't there anymore. And I felt that I did not want to short the kids
And
anything
that's
because
true.
they
That's true.
deserved 100%, and I couldn't give them
True.
100%. And
I
that's why I said,
understand that.
yeah, and that's the reason why I stepped down as a coach. Now, do I still go to games? Yeah, I still go to games.
Mm.
I still go out there and watch kids practice, and I'd be saying to myself, man, this kid need to give. He can do better than that. And I think that, okay, all right, back up. You're just
Yeah.
a
But
fan now.
that's
You're
just it's
just
just
playing.
naturally in you like that though. Like right
Right,
now,
yeah,
like I'm going through this. Like I want to be a part of like a team so bad right now. 'Cause, like when it boils down to it, like for X amount of years of my life, like that's all I know. Like I know I was going to a workout, I was going to a practice. I know I was going, going to class, doing all that, and it just repeat the next day. That's just how it was. So just trying to, move something like that, instrumental part like that out of your life, like it's kind of
right.
like what do I substitute that with? I'm known for being a coach. I'm known for being a player. Like what do I put there? And like that's why I feel you, man. Like going to a practice, like sometimes I go up the street to the lifts. Like maybe I'll be in there getting a lift, and then a lift group comes in like for the team, and like just still knowing those guys, and they're younger than I am at this point, and they kind of look up to me, and I really embrace them. So like when I see them short a rep or something, I'm like, yo, what you doing? Like but I gotta realize, like Nick, like you ain't. Them boys can tell you, them boy can curse you out, tell them to get out their face. Now, it's different. But
So are you?
it's just trying to
So are
find
you?
that.
So are you officially out of school? Or are you still in?
No, so this is my last semester of my graduate program. I'll be done in May. I'm doing my MBA in healthcare management right now, so I'll be finished with that this semester. And like my mom and my dad said, I'll be having to find a job here soon.
Matter of fact,
uh,
Nick, when I was talking to you today, to set up the interview,
mhm.
I think it was. Did we talk this morning?
Yeah, this morning. It was this morning.
Well, yeah, because I think I was pulling up at the stop sign on Highway 78, and your
Hmm.
dad was coming right in front of me in the truck, and I was talking.
Hey man, stay with somewhere to go, man.
Oh man, oh man. I mean, it's just crazy how that happened, man. But
Yeah.
Nick, now let's give what now we are down to the end of this show, about to end of this show, Nick, and we have parents on here that's listening. If there's one thing you can tell a parent how to get their kids, and we talked about for us earlier how to get their kids in college, but it's one thing, is a key word that we missing. What would you tell a parent, have a kid that's playing football now and they want to get them into college, and it's a lot of kids when you ask them, say, where you want to go to college at? Oh, I want to go play at USC. Well, you might not be a big USC player. You might
Yeah.
be a Charleston player. Don't be afraid to go play at
Yeah.
Charleston Southern and you think
Yeah.
you're USC. But, what would you tell a player that, listen, man, it's getting into school is the thing. What I hope I'm saying it the right way to try to help you out in what I'm trying to say.
Like you mean like just as far like with parents telling them like how to get their kids into school?
Well, yeah, that we covered that earlier. But what I'm trying to say without trying to be in a negative way to a parent, because you got some parents that think that their
Oh, just
kids.
being like maybe like well, like you want to go to school here, but that might not be your route.
Right,
Like
right.
you might,
Because yeah, I didn't want to say it
oh,
in a negative way. I'm trying to keep
I
it
mean,
clean.
like, you know, it's just perspective. So like those guys, like your big time recruits, like them guys most of the time, they know where they're going to school by their junior year of high school. Like, and it's like if you haven't spoken to them, those bigger schools or those bigger programs like a Clemson or a Carolina or a Georgia, or like they do year round recruiting. And it's not to put make somebody feel disadvantaged or feel like they're not good enough, but it's more so just to have perspective. If that offer, like late offers come all the time, but
Right.
it's just more so like if a school is giving you attention, like entertaining. Like, like when we were in school, I there were a lot of FCS and Division II schools coming in. At the end of the day, the name of the game is free school. If you can go to
There you go.
school and not have to pay for school, not have to pay for your education, that is the ultimate goal. Like where
That
you
is what
play football,
that,
the way you
that
play
is right there
football
what
is
I
an
wanted you
added
to talk about
benefit.
right there.
Yeah, where you
That is
play
right there what
football
I
is an
want you to
added
talk about
benefit.
right there.
And it might just like for another perspective, just for parents, like one of the main sources of debt in this country is student loan debt. Like if you can go to school for scot free and get out, like that's money that you get to save, and also that's money that you don't have to get back. Now your son or your daughter can, they're able to get out of school and put that money directly into their pocket and figure out whatever they want to do for their life. Like they don't have to pay back what is it, like the Sally Mae loan companies and all this, that, and the third,
Right.
because that's all their money. So at the end of the day, it's just about having free school. Don't get discouraged if those big schools don't hit you up. I mean, if you feel like you're that big time player, go to an FCS program or go to a group of five program, or like, and show these coaches like, I'm really supposed to be this person. You don't do it cocky, but you show people like, man, look, this is what I've been trying to tell people. I'm this caliber type of player. Like when I was told like I I had the opportunity to take a walk on position. To me, like it was fine because the coach told him, Coach Chadwell, he's the head coach up at Coastal Carolina now. He was like, look, we don't have any money to give you right now because it's late in the spring. He was like, it's late in the fall, but in the spring you have the opportunity to compete for a scholarship. I
Right.
looked at him. I said, "That's all I have to do." He was like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, like I would commit right now, but I was supposed to go to a D2 up in Tennessee, Tusculum College, and
Uh-huh.
because I thought I was getting a full ride, so I took a visit up there, and turned out it wasn't what it was supposed to be. So, like, not even 5 minutes after leaving that university, I called Coach Gardine, he's the head coach down at Albany State, but he was a offensive line coach at CSU at the time. I called him and I told him, I was like, "Yeah, coach, I'm committing to you guys. I'm coming to Charleston Southern." He was like, "Man, Nick, that's some of the best news I heard all day." And from there, it was like, bro, like, of course I feel like, I'm this type of player. But it's like, you know, if it doesn't add up, like if Carolina not giving me the offer, what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna sit there and cry about it. I'm gonna go to this school, I'm gonna produce, and I'm gonna show people, who I am. I already know who I am. I don't have to prove nobody wrong. I'm proving myself right because I know the type of person and the type of player I am. I'm gonna work hard
Right.
and I'm gonna do what I need to do.
Now, did a lot of HBU schools come for you, or did any of them offer you HBU schools?
They didn't. But I was like during that time, like when I was trying to get recruit, man, I sent my film to almost like every HBCU on the Eastern Seaboard. I sent
Right.
tape to
Now, now,
Howard,
now, now, you say the key word
State,
right there, Nick.
everybody.
You say the key word right there. You said you sent your videos out. So are you telling
Yeah,
me that to tell parents it's best to get your kids highlight to send them out for you do it or you let somebody do it
not
for you?
not necessarily because I mean stuff maybe sometimes stuff like that works, but I was like just like look, I want to go play ball somewhere. But the thing is though, like if you can still like go through your coach, like go through a head coach type of guy, because at the end of the day, those guys are the ones that have all the connections. Like head coach in high school, most of the time, like their friend, like just to put in perspective, like their best friend might be a head coach somewhere. and that head coach might know the coach at, maybe he went to college with the offensive line coach at Georgia. He might be cousins with the head coach at East Carolina. Like, you never
Right.
know how to, like, the coaching network is just so wide, and it's just wide
Right.
open.
Right.
And most of the time, that's how stuff happens. Like, coaches hit up their homeboy. They're like, look, I got this guy, like, who's 6'2", da 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 da. Like, he has no offers. Like, he's good. He's a good player, but nobody knows about him, especially, and that really happens like in rural towns such as Walterboro. Like, some guys get overlooked, but I'm telling you, man, like, if you can work that, can, like, go to those camps, like a prospect camp, sometimes, like, you can feel like, okay, like, maybe like this is just a mistake. I shouldn't be. You go to those prospect camps and you turn heads, I promise you, those coaches will not stop leaving you alone. I've seen it. Like, I've worked the camps at our school. Like, I've seen my D-line coach literally, like, verbally offer somebody out there. Like, if you can go to those prospect camps and you might not even get an offer, okay, but before the day ends, you go up to the coach and be like, hey, coach, my name is Nick Salley. I just want to thank you for, being able to, show me this technique today. I really appreciate coming out here and spending time with you. They'll remember you. Like, I have, like, coaches who I came across who couldn't, they couldn't close the deal on me because after I tore my ACL, they told me, like, if I ever need anything, to let them know. One of them now is, he coached Trey Murray at Savannah State. He's now, I believe, the head coach up at Virginia, Sean Quinn. Another coach, Coach Shula at North Greenville. He's now like an OC there. Like, he was a tight ends coach at the time. But it's like, building those connections, because you never know what can happen. You never know
That's
what can
right.
happen. So,
That's right.
like,
But
if you
Nick,
can work through a head coach, do it like that. But I would go to prospect camps as well.
right. Nick, who was your biggest when I say, I'm not saying supporter, because I know your parents were your big supporters, but I'm saying to you, when you was in high school, who was your biggest person that really you wanted to model to be like? You know, not just saying football. I'm not even worried about the football part, but who do you want it to be like for as is the faller?
Like, football wise, or like as a person.
The next person, I wouldn't even think about football. I'm just saying, because a lot of people, like the kids that we had at the high school.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kids I talked to, and I was like, man, who do you want? Who you want? I want to be like Mr. T. I want to be Mr. Thomas,
Yeah,
man. He was
yeah, yeah.
wrong, because Mr. Thomas was a big pusher
Yeah, he was a
for
big he
kids
was a
at the
big
high
he was a big factor. Like, to be honest with you, man, like, guys like Mr. T, Mr. Johnson, um, my middle school coach, like Sean Brown up at Ruffin, Jesse Pringle, man, when I tell you, all those dudes, like, rubbed off on me. But, like, the person that I wanted to be like, and I didn't realize it until, like, I got older, it was actually my dad, man. But
Wow.
all those guys, like, that's why I said it's wisdom, and, like, having conversations with older guys. And, when you're out on your own, that's when you realize, like, this person was being hard on me because they saw I had potential. They were being hard on me because they wanted me to learn a lesson like this, versus it coming to the extreme of me learning the lesson. So, and then it wasn't even older guys. It was so, like, well, guys like later in their lifetime, like, guys like, God bless his soul, Rashi Hodges. Like, Rashi was one of the biggest influences, like, I had while playing, because him and dudes like BJ Hamilton and DeAndre Leonard, them dudes, like, took me under their wing, like, when I was, as a freshman in high school, who was playing like JV and varsity. I got the chance to do that. So it's just like being able to take everything from every aspect and learning things from certain guys, man. I really felt like, as far as like a support system, like, I felt, that's why I always felt like the city of Walterboro always, like, had my back, because I was
Right.
always getting gems from different people, even people like yourself, like you and Jay Day. Like, it's just like every time I saw, like, somebody in a position like that, Coach Hamilton, like, I can go on and name people, like,
Right. Right.
who had a part in, like, being involved in the person that I know I am today, especially like
Right.
being, a 16-year-old kid who really don't know his left from his right, thinking he got things figured out. But, it's still being able to take all the information that I have and being able to use it. And then, surrounding yourself with people like my friend group. Like, I love my friends like to death, like all my friends, and they know who they are. I don't have to speak to them, all the time, and we still can pick up like we left off. But all that stuff, all that stuff, I have to say plays a part in the person who I was. And
Right.
then it wasn't until my later years I realized that it was my father who I really, aspired to be like how he carries himself, how he handles business, how he does things, and how he goes about being a man. Like your word is your bond. If you're gonna do something, you say you're gonna do something, you gotta do it. If you telling
Right.
these people you're gonna come in and earn a scholarship, you earn a scholarship. You make them people know. Like when I told him that, he was like, okay, so what's so hard about that? I said, nothing, Pops. Ain't nothing hard about it. He said, then go do it then. I was like, all right. So, like it's just stuff like that. So it's just all about finding, wisdom in every conversation that you have and being able to take something and apply it to your own life.
Oh man, Nick, I tell you, man, I am, this is. I was telling my wife tonight that I said I guarantee this is gonna probably be one of my best shows I had since I got started, man. Because my thing is, Nick, I can sit here and talk about basketball, and basically my show was about basketball, ladies basketball, because I
Hmm.
love to push ladies basketball. I'm big on pushing ladies basketball in the low country. I don't know about the teams in upper state because I don't hardly get to see them play, but my show
Yeah.
was, and I thought about it one day, and I was telling my wife, I said, I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to get some former players that played college football that can tell somebody how to get there where they're at,
Hmm.
and because a lot of parents out there think that they know, but they don't know, Nick. Because
Yeah.
I'm just going to be honest, they don't know. When
Yeah.
parents
It's a
call,
it's a
I have
crucial it's a
parents that
crucial
Nick that
process,
call me,
man.
yeah, parents that call me and text me about questions about their kids. You know, I have a guy that his daughters and play high school basketball. They just got finished up playing, and
Hmm.
they were asking me questions about how to get in school, what this and that. And I told them, I said, listen, you
Yeah.
tune in tonight. I have a young man that's coming on that's gonna give some great tips. And I'm telling you, Nick, man, this information that you gave out tonight, man, it's gonna really help some people, man, because you don't know, everybody don't know, everybody's not in the same financial group. Everybody think that, oh, my mom make $100,000, my dad make this and that. Does that mean you still gonna automatically walk onto a football team? No, that's not. Is it automatic you gonna
Nah.
walk into college?
Nah.
That not. You gotta put the work in. You gonna have to, the
Yeah.
student gonna have to put some work in too, because the parents can't do it all themselves. That's just the fact
Also,
truth.
also
And,
too, like it should be stressed. Like one of the biggest things as well. Like even with me, like not being on scholarship, with me being a walk on, like my academic money kicked in. Like I was able to get scholarship from the university based off of my academics, and that's a big saver. Like it's like, look, I might come out of pocket, but I'm not coming out. Like my school cost like 36,000 to go to. Like that's the tuition. It's real.
right,
Like I've seen guys come and go like after a semester because they can't keep up, or like they working two jobs to try to help their parents out. So it's like if you are able to like just do your work, do what you need to do, because you never know how something's gonna play out. You might need those academics in the long run, and then also like applying to every scholarship that you see. Like I promise you, they're out there. Like you might have to type a paper or something, but they're out there. Like my mom was big on that with me. Like she made me, I got so tired of that. My mom would find a different scholarship like every week. I was sitting there typing papers,
right,
but it's worth it because that money helps. That might be money towards your books.
right,
So like
right,
once you do all that, and then like it comes to doing your FAFSA and everything like that. That's also a crucial part. Like for determining your financial aid, determining if you'll be eligible for Pell Grant. Like it's stuff. If you haven't gone through it before, it's really difficult. And sometimes it's not. I'm not saying it's a task that you can't manage, but seeing it for the first time, you might feel overwhelmed. And just trying to find somebody who's been through that, or who has gone through that process before, is very is you're very lucky to find a person that can help you out with it. But it gets
right.
kind of hard when you don't know exactly what to do. And we thought like we were in the same position. Maybe we thought we had something squared away, and then you get a letter from the university. It's like, no, you're missing these documents and this document. So like once it came down to it, like it was like, okay, like once it was done, it was like, woo, we finally got all that stuff over with. But it's very crucial. Like, I can't stress academics enough. It is because you never know what's going to happen. That academic money might come in. You might get a full scholarship where you don't have to. I know people who literally go to school for free just off of not playing no sport. They don't touch a ball. They don't wake up with no 6 a.m. workouts. They don't do but they go to school for free because of their academics. They were able to put it together. They got a good GPA. And now I hear, like, you don't even have, like, like, a lot of schools aren't, like, doing the ACT and SAT test scores anymore because, like, you know, maybe somebody's not good at standardized testing or whatever. But, you know, that's students got to realize that's to their advantage as well. Like, if I don't have to do those tests, like those different tests, like the ACT and SAT, all I have to do is have a good GPA, you know? Like,
right.
So that all plays a part in, you know, getting different, you know, added benefits to trying to find a school to go to.
Well, Nick, man, I tell you again, man, I really appreciate you. But listen, there's one thing that's keep floating on the bottom of my thing here. This RQQ. What is that all about now, man? Are you a Q dog now?
That's rude to the good. That's rude to the good, bro. That demo.
Oh, that's what that is.
You already demo, and he one of the people that you was talking about. That's a championship quarterback in, what is that, Walterboro? That's Walterboro High School, right?
And Nick, guess what? He's gonna be on my show next week. I text Damien today.
Hey man, when you got somebody,
hey man,
like that,
I tell you, man. Hey, listen, man.
Special.
Man, God work in a mysterious way, man. To reach out to you, looking through Facebook. When I saw you, I was like, oh man, I got to get in touch with Nick. Then I was flipping too. Then I saw Damien. I said, oh my God, I forgot I got to get in touch with Damien because I was watching my stuff. That I had so much stuff going in my head at one time, man. But listen, I appreciate you so much for taking out your time, man, to coming on my talk show, man. Try to hopefully we reach and touch some parent out there, and hopefully we reach some student out there that's listening, man. Because the stuff that Damien's going to bring in next week will really help out some stuff with some kids. And I got to get in touch with. Matter of fact, he just put on something. Go Dog, Mr. Johnson. I got to reach out to him because, you know, I need to talk about him some stuff about what we're going to do for us. How can we? I don't know if they still do those college tours and stuff anymore, but I'm going to reach out to him and see what we can do for us to help some of these kids, you know, do some of these college tours with Mr. Johnson. Okay. But Nick, man, I appreciate it so much, man. Tell your mom, dad, and tell your brother, man, I know, man. And you know, anytime you want to be the guest on the Coach P show, man, you are the man, man. You are the man. I appreciate it so much, man.
Appreciate you, Terry. I appreciate you for having me, man.
And I'm going to download this to YouTube probably by my wife. You know, my wife does all the technology part. When it comes down to that, Nick, I don't know what that stuff, man. She does all that stuff for me, man. But you'll see it when she downloads it to YouTube, and I send it out on my Facebook page, man. And like I said, man, I hope it reach somebody out there that say, hey, I can do it from a small town, from Walterboro, home or the Springtown. You can do the same thing too, man. And I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Perry, man. I really appreciate you for having me, man.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you, man, and we'll talk, man.
All right, man. Catch you later.
Right, man. All right. Yo, that was my boy Nick Salley, man. I hope y'all enjoyed that show. That was an awesome show, man. And he brought some great tips. And I hope some of you parents are listening, man, and go back and tell somebody. And when I bring Damien Cunningham on next week, we're going to talk about almost the same thing on what we talk about today. It's going to be a little different because Damien played back in the 90s, and things were a little different than what it is now to get in college. And God knows Damien I know he got a story that would tell what it took him to get in college. So me and him talked before about, you know, some things that happened. And again, y'all, I thank y'all. Sean, I appreciate it, Mr. Johnson. I appreciate it, man. Me and you going to talk because me and you need to do something live, man, because we're going to have to do something to get these kids in college. I'm not saying every kid got to go to college to play football. I'm not saying every kid got to go in college and play a sport. We want to get them in college. They get something because when them 4 years are up and them 3 years are up, or how many years they've been in it, they can have that paper in their hand and say, I got a degree and get out of here. Let's do something. Again, y'all, it's your boy here, Coach P with Sports Talk Live here in Somerville, man. Aaron Jenkins, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you, dog. I hope I gave you some great Damien, I'm not sorry. Nick Salley gave you some great tips, man. And if you need to reach out to Curtis, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it so much. Chris Jackson, what's up, buddy? Hey, man, thanks so much, man. That's my buddy Chris Jackson from Charlotte, man. That is my man right there, man. I appreciate all you people who are tuning in. Chad Cummins. I mean, I don't want to call out names and I miss somebody, man, but I appreciate you all for coming on. And I hope that, y'all got some great tips from out of this, man. Again, man, subscribe, like, and share. You can go to my YouTube page at Sports Talk with Coach P. This show here will be downloaded on YouTube. Hopefully, my wife can do it by tomorrow for me. If I can just, charm her a little bit to do it for me. And then you can, if you want to get on my show, send me an email at sportstalkcoachp@gmail.com. Or hit me my messenger and say, hey, Coach P, I would like to be on your Sports Talk show to share some stuff. And then we'll get together and we'll make it happen. Damien Cunningham, next week, bro, it's on you, baby. Hopefully we can get this thing squared, but hopefully by next Wednesday, I can get you on, man. But listen, y'all, like I say, always stay when I end my show. I love you. I love you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Good night.